Hello, everyone. My name is Dajan, and the way how I would introduce myself and the way how I would describe myself would be as open minded. I would call myself as open minded because I feel like I'm always willing to try out different things, and I always find myself interested in trying out different things. I feel like it's very important for your self development. I feel like it's very important for your self growth that you go into everything with an open mind and try to learn something new, because I feel like it's very important to always try to learn something new, because that's how you discover yourself as a person, by trying out different things and learning different things. Um, yeah, so yeah, I would describe myself as that because I am always willing to try something new, and as I said before, you will never like discover yourself if you aren't willing to try out new things. And for examples, like um I before I started taking classes at Broward, I went to trade school to learn HVAC. HVAC is just learning how to fix air conditioning and stuff. And um, I thought that would be very, as I'm gonna pull up the, I got my certification in it too. I'm gonna pull that up real quick. So here's my HVAC license. I thought that like before I started taking classes and stuff, I was like, I'm gonna try learning like a trade, because I've been seeing a lot on the internet that like learning a trade and learning a skill is very important. So I was like, I'm gonna take some classes for HVAC, and I ended up getting my certificate for HVAC. So whenever I'm ready to go in that, I will. And I thought it was a really cool course to learn. I thought it was something interesting, and that's what would refer me back to being open minded, because I didn't really see anybody else in this course that was my age. Everybody else there was like much older. I was like the youngest one there, and I was like, like they were all telling me that, all the other guys there were telling me that, it's good that you're getting into this, because, it's good money and it's a good skill to learn. So that's why I would call myself as, somebody that would be open to learning things, because I always try to, you know, see what else there is I can learn, because maybe I would, maybe that can become a hobby, or maybe that could be something that I would love doing for the rest of my life. So back to the PowerPoint. I also randomly decided to pick up skating, as I've never skated before, and when I did try it, it was really fun. As I picked up skating as a hobby, it was just me, like, I literally like just bought a skateboard randomly. I was like, yeah, it would be cool to like just start, it would be cool to learn how to skate. So I just, picked up skateboarding, and that was also another hobby that I picked up to this day, and I thought was that I think is like really fun to do. As far as things that I'm really into, like as a person, I'm really into storytelling. I love like good stories. I always like find myself super invested into like really good storytelling, stuff like films, anime, TV series, any of that stuff. I always find myself super interested in that type of stuff. Um, and I'm really into basketball. I love like playing basketball. Um, and I just love like just learning new things, as far as like stuff about the world, or stuff about, just anything that you haven't heard before, because, I always find myself pretty interested into, learning something. I just feel like it's really important to gain more knowledge, because that's pretty much what a lot of this world uh, runs off of, like, just knowledge, and knowing a lot of, just knowing how to do a lot of things, you know. So I would also want to learn how to play like guitar and stuff. I used to play like a little bit of the drums, but not really as much as I'd like. But I would definitely want to get back into that. There's just some things that I just like I would want to get back into, and like definitely learn how to do. So that's pretty much how I would describe myself.